This is a series of 100 films about Japanese foods that I've eaten, and this is a film about Japan trying to beat the Europeans. Spoiler alert, they haven't won yet. One of the great things about Japan is how accessible nature is, which is kind of strange. You see, I'm from Canada, and when I admit that to Japanese people, they immediately start talking about forests and fields and greenery. The irony is that for most Canadians, it's hard to get to the countryside unless they have a car. Oh sure, there are national parks, but they charge, and as Americans know, to get anywhere worthwhile, you have to drive, not to mention it's winter half the year. So unless it borders a ski run, you're not going near the forest. In Tokyo, on the other hand, getting to a mountaintop hiking trail is as easy as hopping on a local train. 40 minutes later, you're there, even though the Tokyo metropolis is the largest city in the world by far. The urban area is only part of Tokyo Prefecture. In fact, while much of the prefecture is the city, the western half is mountains and villages, all sparsely populated. And if you keep going, you'll end up in Yamanashi Prefecture, and this is the prefecture that contains half of Mount Fuji. Yama. Now, Western Tokyo and Yamanashi have some excellent hiking trails, which leads to amazing views. One of the treks I wanted to try out was a mountain called Daibosatsu. It was a day trip from Tokyo on the Chuo Line, and I took the train to a small village called Enzan. From there, I took a bus to the bottom of the trailhead. And now as the bus meandered up the mountain, I was surprised to see the hills completely coated with vineyards. Later, I got back to town. I found out Yamanashi is famous for wine, which came as a shock to me as I had no idea wine was even made in Japan. Looking at what people ordered in restaurants, you'd think it was barely consumed. I figured most Japanese, for them, it was a foreign oddity to be given as a gift for business partners at New Year's or Obon. What surprised me even more was that Yamanashi is Japan's sole major wine growing area, which is unusual since they get a lot of snow in the winter. Yama. You may also wonder how Japan can maintain a wine industry with such competition from overseas. Australian wine is cheaper in Japan than in North America, and I've been to plenty of restaurants, and these were not even the richest neighborhoods of Tokyo where Chateau Mouton Rothschild was on the menu. Why was I able to remember the name of that specific wine? Because it costs $800 per bottle. So with options like that, why would anyone drink Yamanashi wine? Well, because it's cheap. Really, really cheap. At the 100 yen store, you can get a bottle of it for the equivalent of $3. However, the hangover is free. And it will be a cheap wine hangover. You can almost taste the harshness when you drink this wine, like it attacks the tongue. I was an English teacher in Japan, and in a job like that, you meet as many people in 1 year as most regular people meet in a lifetime. And in thousands of conversations, never once has someone admitted to liking Yamanashi wine. In fact, I don't even know a single person who's admitted to drinking it. Why will my friends love it? Well, it's cheap. If you need a cooking wine, it's great. I'd even go so far as to say it could, in a pinch, make an okay table wine. Where can I get it? That's right, you guessed it, the Kai Winery in Enzan. Enzan is the town in the foothills of Daibosatsu, below lots of vineyards. If you're new to Japan, you'll probably want to start in Tokyo at Shinjuku Station, since it's the busiest train station in the world. From JR Shinjuku Station, take the Chuo Line Limited Express in the Kofu direction. Get off at Enzan Station. Go out the south exit, turn right, then left by the gas station. Walk about 15 minutes, the Kai Winery will be on your right across from a produce market. As always, keep in mind this information may be out of date by the time you're watching this. The word of the day. The word of the day is yama. It means mountain in Japanese. Useful if you want to go hiking. So if you want to remember this word, feel free to watch this video 10 more times and repeat along with me. At least that's what I do. Next time. So that's it until next time when we look at the food the Japanese hipsters, artists, and film industry types cannot resist. So until then, sayonara.